Hi guys. Right, so first of all, I wanted to just say thanks to Chris for giving me the opportunity to stand here in front of you and kind of talk about my experience, the things that I've done. I met Chris first time last year, and I think some of you as well, on his first meetup, and I was kind of blown away with the whole concept and how he brings people together, takes people down different avenues. And you know, I was overwhelmed when Chris asked me to come here and just share my experience with yourselves and talk about the sort of things that I do in property. So I wanted to go through that with you today. First of all, thanks Chris for giving me the opportunity. So title of this is, how to profit from property if you're short on time and money. I mean, it's a big area. There's three main factors before I go into this. Three main factors when you're investing in property, and what I found as well, are time, money, and skills. And if you can, if you can fill up the gaps that you have, you're pretty much okay. So if you're short on time, we'll look at ways that you can leverage other people's time. We'll touch on leveraging other people's money as well, and the sort of things that you can do to move forward in property. So background, I've been investing for about 8 years. The portfolio I've got is about 1.75 million. I've started off residential properties, just a standard buy to let, put somebody in there and kind of, hope for the best. That's pretty much how it worked. Made some mistakes along the way, and some costly ones as well. And it's like Chris mentioned, the journey is that you'll go in different directions, and I've certainly found myself going in different directions. So what I'm going to show you is by no means a straightforward process. You have to go down these routes, and whether it's property or anything else that you're doing, you'll need to just have the right mindset that if there's a challenge that's in your way, you're going to overcome it, but have the end goal in mind and carry on moving forward. So that's the kind of key thing. So I've done some HMOs, lease options, and I've been involved in some joint ventures with other investors. We've done some cool creative stuff. I'll share some of that with you today, and the sort of things that you can do as well, what's open to you. Sometimes when people are looking at investing in property, they'll say, okay, there's so much money I need to put down. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to find it, so I'll stay away from it. But it's endless. There's so many possibilities. I mean, Kevin will certainly touch on it later on, but there's so many possibilities out there. It's just opening your minds to it, and hopefully some of what I share will do that for you today. One of the other things I'm really passionate about is teaching others about property as well. Now, Chris and I we've talked about how we can help people, and it's this thing that we kind of decided that we'll put together. But in the past, I've kind of just been working with friends and helping them move along and giving them direction, and I'll get a real buzz out of it. So I'm grateful to be here today. So why did I choose property? The key thing for me was that if it's set up in the right way, it can be a hands-off business. I spend 1 or 2 hours on my own portfolio a week maximum, no more than that, and I don't intend to spend any more either. The idea is that you can set it up once and get paid forever, in comparison to other business and other asset models that you may have to generate income for you. One of the things that really strikes me about it is that once I've set something up, I want to move on to something else, and that's kind of how I like to work. And the equity, I'd like to set it up in a way that the equity is growing in its own way. It's just through how the world is working, and inflation is moving, and prices of property does go up. It has historically. I believe it will continue to do so. For the simple fact is that we're living on an island and population is growing. We're not building no more land, so we need to make best use of the land that we've got, and how we can get more people into smaller blocks of flats or rooms or whichever. So so equity grows. It doesn't require me to turn up at 9 a.m. If it's a shop, for example, I need to be there every day. If I don't open the shop, I don't get paid. I'd get no revenue. And that's the kind of concept I took when I wanted to get into property, first of all, is that I don't need to be there all the time. I wanted to build an income stream for myself, my family, for the future. I mean, you hear this a lot, make money while you sleep. I mean, the idea is great. It's not always possible, but it's worked for me in property, and it's worked in other avenues for other people, whether it's online or trading or whichever. I think this is where kind of the freedom comes into it for most people, is that if I can not do anything, will I still generate income? And that's kind of what I'm here to talk about, and what I've been doing. So also it allows me to leave a legacy, future children, grandchildren, leave something behind for them. I'll move on. So my aspirations for this year, I'm going to stop talking about myself in a minute, but my aspirations for this year is to grow my portfolio to 3 million. It's taken 8 years to get to 1.75, and I think I've put a lot of things in place now, so it can help me accelerate that growth. And that's what it's really about. You do the first thing. Once you get comfortable in doing it, you get better at it. You do it a few more times, you get very confident, and then you'll grow into doing bigger things. And for me, it was doing a single buy-to-let. I bought it on a residential mortgage. I threw a tenant in there. I'll take that piece out, please. And I did honestly hope for the best. And it was a new build property. It's doing really well now, but I was absolutely nervous. But the second one got a bit more comfortable. And then I started, getting familiar with the language, the agents, the tenants, what needs to happen. And then after you've done a few kind of residential buy-to-lets, the natural thing, well, it was for me, was to, how can I maximize my square footage? So I've got a flat or a house, how can I get more revenue from that? And that's kind of where we moved into multi-lets and HMOs and doing other stuff. So yeah, the other thing I want to do this year is streamline my portfolio. And one of the things is, how can I, if I've got a portfolio, where can I move things around to get more revenue from it? I've got an asset base already. What can I do to it? Can I add rooms? Can I move tenants around? Can I increase rent? You'll be surprised, some of the properties you will have for years and not increase the rent with the market rates going up, but you'll have a tenant in there for 5 years, always pays on time. You'll think, why do I want to upset them and increase the rent? It's very straightforward, and you should do it. And one of the things I'm going to be doing this year is actually going through my whole portfolio and getting that streamlined, because that in itself will increase revenue. I want to help others achieve their goals in property as well. I've spoken to some people here, Vinny as well, we've spoken a few times. He's kind of now on his way to buying a property in Leicester. I put him in touch with my broker. It's just kind of casual conversation, and he's doing something about it, which is great, and I'm really pleased to hear it. And this is key as well. I'm going to continue to educate myself. I've got a mentor. Chris has got several mentors, and it's good because you mentioned, Ben, that you don't always know which direction to go. You've got so many things that are going on. Your mind goes this way, that way. How do you kind of stay focused? And that's where having a mentor or a group, kind of mentoring group, for example, having that, so you're held accountable, but you've got a direction. And if you're going off that direction, you can come back to it as well. It's just a roadmap. That's all it is.